always wherever I'm doing a job. What do you got, some kind of spider sense or something?
It's funny you should say that.
The Sandman, one of Marvel's more complex characters. A boy, moulded by the world into a man hard enough to survive in it. The life of William Baker, a.k.a. Flint Marko, a.k.a. the Sandman, was not a day at the beach. Taking what he wanted and beating the hell out of anyone who stood in his way, Marko spent his life looking to make something that could last. Living life as a supervillain until one too many close calls made him rethink his life choices. But before he decided to go straight, he caused some havoc for more than just our friendly neighbourhood Spider-Man. Sandman terrorised many masked men in his time, and with abilities as overpowered as Marko's, a dust-up would be deadly for anyone, Avenger or not. So let's have a look at some of these seaside showdowns. It's Marvel versus the Sandman. The Amazing Spider-Man issues 18 and 19 has two teenage titans get down and dirty with Sandman. We know Marko hates both of these punks, so let's see if he can't get some revenge. Oh boy, it's not just Marko out to squash the spider and douse the torch. These lovable enforcers are up to their old tricks as well, and if that wasn't enough drama for you, Aunt May isn't feeling too good. As per usual, it's a bad time to be Spider-Man. The whole city thinks the webhead's a little bitch because he ran away from a fight with the Green Goblin, and J. Jonah Jameson won't let him live it down. Supervillains everywhere are perplexed that the valiant Spider would turn chicken, but the big hit is that even fellow superheroes are surprised at that cobwebbed cretin's cowardice. Even Daredevil, the man, without fear, thinks Spidey's a wimp, and what is the Wasp's problem? But what the city doesn't know is that Spidey had to run out because he thought his old as shit aunt was dying. Obviously she wasn't, she just wanted the attention, but she's the only family Peter has, and these medical bills aren't cheap. Peter needs cash and fast, and Earth 616 has no bone saw, so he tries to cash in on his infamy by selling his likeness and trying to sell the web formula. Shockingly, no one wants a glue that melts away after an hour, which is weird because it's like the ultimate non-lethal weapon. Booted out, Spider-Man's day gets even worse when he suddenly bumps into the Sandman. Spider-Man can't risk a fight now. If he dies, who's going to look after Aunt May during the next dozen heart attacks? But Spidey's refusal to throw down just makes Marko think the papers were right. Marvel civilians, dude. They're all dicks. The whole city calls Spidey a punk ass for not wanting to fight the terrifying, immortal Earth elemental criminal. Alright then, citizens, why don't you go fight Sandman then? With only half the story, the people declare Spider-Man a coward, and the once hero barely escapes by switching back to puny Parker just in time. But I don't think we can count this one as a victory for Marko, because Spidey didn't fight back. J. Jonah's smug face grins the news of the webbed wimp, taking Spidey from hero to zero for almost all of New York. But, unlike those fair weather friends Daredevil and the Avengers, one young man has Spidey's back. Flash Goddamn Thompson. Oh, and also, the Human Torch. Johnny can't believe his rival would be so cowardly, and he wants to get to the bottom of this by hearing Spidey's side of the story. And for once in her life, Aunt May is useful. Her refusing to let her quote-unquote illness get her down motivates Peter to get back out there and go down swinging. Which is all well and good for Spider-Man, but what about poor Torch? On his search to help Spidey out, he gets ambushed by Ox Montana, Fancy Dan, and their new leader, the Sinister Sandman. Sand puts out fire, but fire glasses sand. It all comes down to whose flame burns brightest. Oh my god, the win goes to Sandman! He smothers that pyro punk. Holy shit, that's actually dangerous, dude. The Enforcers and their beachy new boss trap Torch with ease. A Fantastic Four member. Superheroes are little bitches, dude. Who could possibly stop the dream team of the Sand Forces now? Absolute piss take, mate. The entire city of New York and Fancy Dan gets spotted on his smoke break by Peter Parker. Spidey doesn't even know they have Johnny. Pure coincidence. Spider-Man squares up, but the enforcers escape. Close call, but now the lads know for sure that they'll never be free to crime it up with that arachnid annoyance out there. Meanwhile, back at the Sandman's hideout, a conference is taking place. Spider-Man's interfered with us for the last time. He must be stopped. Permanently. Oh, we'll buy that, mister. But how we all gonna catch hold of Spider-Man? It'll be a cinch, Montana. Don't forget our ace in the hole. We've got the perfect bait for our trap. His bratty pal, the Human Torch. You're a fool, Sandman. Spider-Man's no pal of mine. No? Well, we'll see about that. If only I had more air, enough to let me flame on. I've tried everything. If I could even get enough flame on one finger to burn through this glass. It's no use, I'm too weak. Blacking out. They've figured it out too perfectly. Just enough air for me to breathe. If I use any up to flame on, I'll suffocate. The trap is set, and a local snitch grasses up the goons, telling Spidey where they live and who they have hostage. Sandman and his boys lie in wait, ready to enforce their boots up Spidey's ass. But the webhead has more sense than they give him credit for. Spidey sneaks in and spots the torch. But maybe Sandman isn't so dumb either. Disguised as the very tube holding Johnny, Marko makes his move. And unlike the heroes Flint brought back up, the enforcers rush in for some revenge of their own. The brutish Ox, the stylish Fancy Dan, and the killer cowboy Montana. Oh, the humanity. Spidey slaps Ox silly, but 4-on-1 is still tough when one of them's a homicidal human beach. Time to even up the odds. Spidey smashes the torch's glass, and it's time for a Marvel team-up. Those poor enforcers, who as far as I know have no superpowers except maybe Ox. He's got a weird life in early Daredevil issues. The enforcers go down hard to the combined Teenage Titans, leaving just filthy Sandman standing. But then it goes from Marvel team up to Marvel cock up, with both aiming at the same target. Spidey and Johnny trip over each other trying to catch Marko. What a pair of idiots! Those costumed clowns always make such a mess, but luckily, before Sandman can escape, the real heroes arrive. The NYPD, absolutely fearless, regular-ass policemen arrive and take down Sandman. The balls on these two. This must be the same pair who arrested Thanos that one time. Ooh, so close, Flint, and yet so far. All that shit Marko talked about Spidey being a coward bit him in the ass hard. Both his teenage antagonists took him down, and this was just two dumb kids. If he couldn't take on the Truant 2, what's he gonna do next time he faces the Fantastic Four? Let's see. Please don't ask me what the hell Marko's wearing here. As we've seen last time, when he's not menacing puny Parker, Flint enjoys a good fantastic face-off with Marvel's first family. Usually he brings a couple Frightful Friends with him, but in Fantastic Four 61, Madman Marko takes on the FF. Alone? Returning from an unrelated adventure, the Fantastic Four find themselves endangered by their own defense system. While they were off spending quality clobbering time together, someone, and I don't know who it could have possibly been, set their own weapons against them. If it really was Marko, how the hell did he get the smarts to sabotage Reed Richards? In his debut he had to bully his way for a high school degree, and now he's tampering with Fantasticuns. Then, the whole goddamn room explodes into sand. Don't have to be the world's greatest detective to put two and two together now. The Fantastic Three, I don't know where Johnny is, sink fast until the Thing, my favourite, busts a hole in the wall. But what awaits the terrific trio on the other side is no day at the beat. I've already used that one, haven't I? The tsunami of sand splashes about the lab, forming back into the culprit, and the Fantastic Three see their enemy. We should have known! The sea of sand in the Baxter building. The fact only a human could have tinkered with Reed's toys. Sand plus human equals... Of course you should have known. After all, the Sandman isn't too easy to forget. During your absence, I took the advice of my old partner, the Wizard. I took a fast refresher course in science, then I designed a new costume for myself. After all, Now that I'm the superior of the Fantastic Four, I might as well look the part. His confidence is incredible. He stands before the greatest fighting team of all, alone and unarmed. He speaks as though he's in command. So you're the think we're after, huh? Step aside, kiddies. I'm gonna tie that corny costume in the knots and then pulverize him with it. 'Cause it's clobbering time. Ben, wait! Remember his power! Don't worry, Richards. I'll never let him forget it. Here's lesson 1. See how easy it is for the Sandman to form a giant rock-hard mallet out of his own right hand? Then, I simply reshape my hand into a powerful shovel, pushing the orange orangutan into that wall of instruments. While I easily blind the outclassed Mr. Fantastic by tossing a thick cloud of sand into his face. The Sandman strikes, and he strikes hard, clobbering the thing and making a fool of Mr. Fantastic, and unlucky for Invisible Girl. Marko's all-new costume isn't just summertime stylish. It lets him chemically enhance his already OP superpowers. Oil slick sand keeps Sue Storm in sight, but as Sandman brags, Mr. Fantastic hits back for his lady's honor. The two shape-shifting super freaks stalemate because suddenly, they've got bigger problems. The Thing landed funny against Reed's space-time generator, and one wrong move could turn it on and destroy the universe. Why then does he even have this? And in the middle of New York as well, dude. Johnny finally shows up to help, but Mr. Fantastic just mentioned his all-powerful weapon right in front of the master criminal, so guess what Sandman's done now? He's locked himself into the time-space generator. Why? I know he said he took a class recently, but no way does he understand how to use this thing. What was the plan here, Flint? Other than ambush, the Torch burns through the chamber and finds himself smothered in sandy vengeance. I always assumed that Sandman was more the Thing's enemy, but he does bloody hate the Torch, doesn't he? Reed frees his brother, and the Fantastic too. Get down and dirty. But Marko's chemical altering suit comes in clutch once again. He turns himself into a nitrogen gas bomb, and the Torch's flame lights the match. Jesus, who taught the course Marko went on? MODOK. Reed activates the lab's safety protocols and a huge vacuum sucks the poison out alongside everything else not nailed down. The sudden hurricane swallows the F4 while the Sandman, forgetting the fight to save his own ass, escapes out the window. Holy shit though, he beat them all in a fight and ruined Reed's lab. No bullshit, Flint won this one. And to add insult to injury, Reed Richards, Mr. I'm so smart, call me fantastic, gets blown into the negative zone. Not so smart now, are you? So Marko finally won one, and he did it solo. Legend. Brainiacs like the F4 can't stand the sand, but it's not over yet. Issue 62, the Sandy Saga goes on. Sadly, with the help of some fish guy named Triton, the Four are reunited. Happy days for all, except they don't turn off the portal when Reed's safely back. Blastar, negative zone ne'er-do-well, sneaks into our dimension looking for trouble. Trouble he finds when he's snatched by the Sandman. I suppose Marko was just hanging out up here while the F4 saved Reed. Sandman was gonna flatten this weirdo, but Blastar's got energy blast powers and speaks like a supervillain, and by now, we all know how much Marko loves team-ups. Flint makes a new friend. This might be the weirdest team-up Marko's ever had, and he once joined a crew with the Trapster. If only Vulture could see him now. This guy Blastar does not mess around, he just starts opening fire at the Baxter building, he even takes Reed down with one blast. Sandman's found himself a blinder of a buddy this time. This story keeps on twisting, doesn't it? Sandman is still lurking about after his almost victory, sitting back as his new pal powers through the FFing friend. But, is this video Marvel vs Blastar? Hell no, dude. Sandman steps in and beaches Triton's whale. This is such a great day for Marko, isn't it? He made the F4 look like punks, and he made a new friend with firepower. But I'm afraid the tide turns when Flint's oldest enemy, the Law, takes a shot. Sandman gets blasted with liquid cement that quickly hardens in the summer sun. Not even his new chemical crap can save him from a rocky defeat now. Mate, the police are on form this video. But not even the cops can handle the otherworldly outlaw that is Blastar. Shotgun fingertips blow Marko free, causing a ruckus. But mate, causing a ruckus in New York City. Nah, pal, not in Fantastic Town. Here falls the four. The ballsy torch quickly flames out. Sandman's dealt with Matched enough times by now. But before the boys can extinguish Storm, Big Ben Grimm checks his watch, and guess what? It's clobbering time! Marko's sandy form barely escapes Ben's grip, but Johnny's fire keeps Marko frosty. They've got Sandman out of his fancy new suit, so now he's just a thug with earth powers. We can take him. Right now, the Thing's the true threat. Storm's just some punk. Sandman rolls himself into Ben and then rolls them both away from the fight, leaving Blastar alone to face the fury of Earth's heroes. If Marko's gonna go down, he's not going alone. He rolls Ben right into the river, hoping the hero will sink like a stone. Imagine if it was that easy, mate. All Dr. Doom would have had to do is install a pool and all his problems would be solved. But nah, mate, Sandman, I've got some grim news. I've just noticed Sandman's in Justice undies, my god. The Thing can swim, but can the man made of sand? The Thing shatters the pier and makes Marko take a dip, scattering his sandy atoms to the waves. And it was going so good, he had the four punked when he fought alone, and Blastar didn't really make much difference if I'm honest. You can lead a Thing to water, but you can't make him drink. Incredible attempt though, Marko. You had those nerds on the ropes, but what happens when there's a bigger guy on the beach? This is what we've been waiting for, dude. Two radioactive renegades clash when Sandman faces the Hulk, issue 113. He may crumble in the rain, but Sandman is no fair weather friend. He wants to get to the negative zone and reunite with dear Blastar. And this new space warp ship thing sounds like it could make the round trip. Unlucky that the military base holding the super ship already has a green goon on the premises. The Incredible Hulk continues to torment poor General Thunderbolt Ross and friends. Knackered from smashing up their base, Hulk tries to have a power nap, but the only power here now is in Sandman's beach body. Finally, as weariness overtakes his massive frame. Hulk is tired. We'll lie down and rest. Something crawling over me. Sand. But getting thicker and thicker. Sand is making sounds like someone trying to speak. You're most observant, Hulk. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the Sandman. I saw your ship land and decided you will serve me. The Hulk serves no one. Go away or Hulk will attack. Not this time, you muscle-bound fool. You finally met someone who can outfight you. No one outfights the Hulk. Not here, not now, not ever. Now see what the Hulk can do. You king-sized clown. Nobody can lift that boulder. Hulk can. And Hulk can throw it too. Now it's my turn. My turn to show you real power. This is why no brainless bumble and human gorilla can ever beat the Sandman. Hulk can beat anyone. I'm still the strongest one of all. Marko's powers make him immortal, but I don't think the Hulk really gives a shit. Love when Marko goes mad with his powers though, like here, where he becomes a steamroller. However, before gamma-infused blood can be spilt, Marko stops dead in his tracks. Flint is head of the Hulk. Who hasn't? And he knows all about his trouble with the military. Why fight when they can team up and finally free Hulk of his tormentors? You know what, dude? Marko is so good at making friends. The childlike Hulk agrees, and coincidentally, Sandy knows just how to get back at those bastards by stealing their new warp spaceship. Is this an error on this panel? Why would Hulk give a shit about Betty Brant? Brant was Peter Parker's girl. Doesn't he mean Betty Ross? Or was Brant two-time and puny Parker all along with the Hulk? Oh my god. Hulk smashes the army, destroying all their cool shit while using his super math power or whatever the hell that stupid retcon was to make sure no one is actually killed. But in the silence of battle, Hulk makes a grim realization. Why the hell did he listen to Sandman? Meanwhile, the Sandman himself uses the Hulk's distraction to swipe the ship. We're coming, Blastar, old buddy. But this perfect crime gets a bit dirty when he almost crashes the getaway car into Hulk's girlfriend Betty. Ross, not Brant. It was a genuine accident as well, but good luck convincing Hulk of that. The fight is back on. Sandman has Hulk on the ropes when he transforms into a living sandstorm, but whether you're one sand guy or a million tiny sand guys, that's the friggin' Hulk. One gamma clap discombobulates the beach. And before Flint can reform, Hulk scatters his ass to the wind. Ashes to ashes, sand to sand, reduced to atoms spread across the desert. You'd think that'd be it for Marko. But nah, he's fine. He'd return to Menace Hulk again and again, but that's a story for another day. So not even the Hulk could sweep away the Sandman. Very impressive. Marko is too powerful, dude. You can't brute strength him, you've gotta be smart. You telling me that the entire military base didn't have one vacuum cleaner? Guys like the Fantastic Four and the Hulk cause problems for Sandman, sure, but that's all just business. But there's one hero who keeps hitting too close to home for Flint, William Baker, Marko. It's time for Flint to finally leave his Marko on the world, as the guy who finally shut up the Spider-Man. We are back in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man annual to come full circle on the Sandman. The sun is setting on our summertime supervillain. But first, do you remember where we started with all this? Amazing Spider-Man issue 4, a Stan and Steve classic. How did that issue end again? That's right, Spider-Man used the Hoover to suck up the Sandman into a trap. Genius, if a bit underwhelming. Well, hold on to your sun hats. The Sandman. Let Spider-Man win. He could have escaped that vacuum anytime with ease. He could have blown the thing up from within and continued his crime spree. Maybe even got that diploma. But no, William wanted more than just petty cash. He wanted his dad. Floyd Baker was back in prison and the Sandman wasn't gonna let his father rot. He let Spidey catch him so he could go and bust Daddy loose. Heading for his hideout on Coney Island, Flint almost tells Floyd the truth. But then, here comes the Spider-Man to ruin everything. Oh, and Aunt May's here as well. Alright lads, this is it. Little Billy's chance to show his dad that he's not a wimp, he's a winner. He can kill that wall crawler right here and finally leave his mark. Life's a beach, Spider-Man. Then you die. My life might have been different if my dad had been watching out for me, but he never did. Not ever. Watch out! In the end, just like always, my dad was too far away. I couldn't stop it in time, couldn't even look. I'd screwed everything up, everything. And just when I thought I could fix it, along came a spider. And I went berserk. I used the sand on the beach to grow and keep on growing. The rain started coming down harder, and Spider-Man, he tried to stay one step ahead of me. Took refuge on the Ferris wheel, fell off, and I knew I had him. It was getting harder to hold myself together in the pounding rain, but I had to do it for just long enough to finish him. My whole life came down at that moment. A life of just trying to make a difference, to help people, to get respect. And none of it seemed to matter, none of it. And I screamed, why? Why me? Why can't anything I do matter? And I got my answer from on high. Because somebody up there hates you. Blown to bits and scattered once again, Sandman doesn't have the energy to see that Spidey actually saved his father. But this defeat just proves what Floyd thought from the beginning. His son is nothing but a born loser, even if he doesn't know that that was his son. One final disappointment, and Floyd Baker walks out of Sandman's life again, only this time, forever. But it's not all bad news, because Billy Baker has finally found what he can do that time won't erode away, an act that would really leave his mark on history. He's gonna be the man who kills Spider-Man, no matter how long it takes him to do it. And if there's one thing a Sandman has, it's time.